Good afternoon. My name is Joseph Winslow. I would like to kind of go through the presentation, an overview of what I did as far as the project. I wanted to do something on researching animals, the characteristics, the habitat. So, with that said, we will take a look at the website that I made on Google. And under this website, it basically gives the guidelines that I use different technologies such as laptops, projectors, a projector, a headset with microphones will be needed, and possibly a flash drive. The different softwares that I'd use during this lesson would be MS Word, YouTube, Google Sites, Prezi.com, and various websites that I'll use or the students would use to search for information. As you can see on the website, there are detailed lesson plans that go from day 1 all the way to day 14. And it does mention samples that are inside of the website that will be addressed a little bit more when we go to the student's website. So let's go ahead and look at the student's website. As you can see, the audience was second grade. It's supposed to take about 14 days, about 45 minutes. My objectives as far as science is to collect information about organisms that occupy specific environments, recognize the basic needs of living things such as food and water. The technology objectives will be to use research skills to build a knowledge base regarding a topic, task, or assignment, and to format digital information including font attributes, color, white space, graphics, and animation for a defined audience and communication medium. Taking a look at day 1, I would have the students actually start by watching a small video on animals just to kind of give the kids something to think about. So I'm going to go ahead and take us back, time constraints, and after we'd watch the video, we'd have a couple discussions like, what's the name of one of the animals we saw in the video? Well, the first one we saw was a deer, and of course we'd ask the student that, and they would respond, and then we'd also talk about, are they a mammal, bird, reptile, fish, and just having them answer the first 3 questions kind of get their brain thinking about what's going on. Now, after we did that, I would form groups of 3, and then I would have them look at the objectives. And the objectives, of course, are this that we already mentioned before, and of course we'll go a little more into detail, or I'll try to make it clear to the children exactly what they need to do. On day 2 through 4, I'll give them a handout of a graphic organizer, and these attachments, unfortunately, I can't figure out how to do it, so I'm going to go ahead and attach them to our discussion board. But when they start, I would give them a graphic organizer that is made in Word, and it's just a template. They can fill it out pretty easy. And looking at the graphic organizer, it's basically has their group name, their date, and it just kind of gives them a little graphic here, an image, so they can kind of look at to kind of tell them what needs to be filled in. So of course, to put the name of the animal, classify it, and it's pretty simple for a second grade class to fill out. Now, just to give them an example, and I did mention it on the on the lesson plan, excuse me, that when it's filled out, this is the way it should look. Basically, just the name. I picked out the puffin, and it goes to different things that it's trying to answer, taking some notes. I did think about doing this thing as a graphic organizer on the computer. However, I just couldn't get it to. I couldn't figure out how to do it either, so I just left it at that. As they fill it out, they get to use these different websites that I have given them. That way they'll have a kind of a limited number of places to go, and also image search. These are kind of safe places they can look for pictures rather than just going to Yahoo or Google and possibly running into something they shouldn't. After they filled out everything according to the graphic organizer, they're gonna, on day 5 and 6, they're gonna start working on their script. And just to kind of give you an idea of what the script looks like, I want to say this is the one, and I would make it quite clear that these little sections right here, they understand exactly what needs to be put in there. And then basically, if it comes off of the graphic organizer, and these are just prompts to get ready for the presentation. This is an example of what the prompt will look like once it's finished. Well, after the teacher checks it, make sure everything is good. We're going to go ahead and go on day 8 and 9 to go look at a sample of what one would look like. So on the website, there'll be a hyperlink. It'll take it to the presentation, and it has voiceover, so it'll be a little bit easier for the students to understand. And since Prezi really is a pretty good program to work with, they should get a hang of it pretty easy. And so we'll go back to the main page. So after they've seen the video, they kind of get an idea of what's going on. They're going to start recording their audio for their presentation. Now on day 10 and 10 to 14, they're going to actually start creating the presentation, and I have a hyperlink, of course, to take us to Prezi. And if I was doing this in the classroom, I probably have them log into an account that I made, a general one for my kids and my classroom, and then we'll edit it over the next 4 days and finalize it, and I'll make sure everything's good, and then we'll create the presentation. Once everything's done, of course, I'll have to grade it, and I picked out a simple rubric to grade each student with. And right here at other, I'll have to figure out what I need to put in there so they can get all their 25 points. But it's just a simple rubric I picked up so that way the students can get feedback on what's going on. But pretty much that's the project that I worked on. If there are any questions or comments or anything you want to add, just put them on the discussion board. And again, I do apologize that I couldn't attach the documents to the website, but they will be available on the discussion board. Thanks.